You may begin.
Okay. To begin with, when I sent out my survey, a few people answered, and I asked, one of the questions were, does anybody know what stem cells are? Everybody answered yes. But I also asked, I didn't ask this, but maybe you can answer it now. Does anybody know what they would be classified under, or a quick explanation? All right, then I'll explain to you. Stem cells are a body's raw material, something that we generate at a younger age or usually at birth, and then we generate a little bit over time as we grow a little bit older in our younger years. But after then, once we hit adult age, it starts to slow down. Division between your cells starts to slow down, normal aging. And that was stated by an article named Stem Cells, What Are They and What They Do on Mayo's Clinic website. Now, we all deal with injuries or sicknesses, and these things, they're only with us for so long, and we might need them for if you get sick with COVID, or if you get a very large gash. Stem cells help with producing red and white blood cells. They're not the main cause, but they help. And unfortunately, some people have a lack of them at an early age, or when they get older, they might need them more. So what do most people do when they need something, but they don't have it? We transplant it, which is more well known as a bone marrow transplant. Unfortunately, like all things in the medical field nowadays, or even previously, they get quite expensive depending on what you get, and bone marrow transplants are very expensive. With a minor injury or minor cause of infection, it could go upwards to $5,000. The highest I've seen, and that's for things like maybe if the healing process would take too long, or a very major disease you have that could be helped with stem cells, it could go upwards to $50,000 at most. Now, why are they so expensive? Obviously, because like most things, there's a lack of them, or at least to the widespread. Most of them are taken by, I believe, if they are able to obtain them from a mother who is willing to give over stem cells from their baby, or maybe if they don't want the baby, they sometimes give it over for stem cells in a bank. And most of them are in a place called a stem cell bank, building just filled with the brim, but they're not large buildings, unfortunately. And it's said is by Kiryu, inequality issues in stem cell medicine. Ooh. Oh, I must have forgotten a quote. Oh, no, that's what I was saying. Sorry. My bad. Mostly stem cells banks, from what this website and this article said, that most of the time it was in stem cell banks. But even though these banks exist, they're still expensive to obtain. And it's one additional statement from a different article named About Adult Stem Cell Therapy from KUMC Education, stated, due to their small number and rate of division, it is difficult to grow stem cells in large quantities. For the time being, it is still deemed as experimental. These case studies where they help somebody with it. A strong case, or that I know of at least, is does anybody know of WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment? If you know who Rey Mysterio is, before he came back in around 2018, 2019, he unfortunately could not wrestle anymore. He was so injured by his years and years of experience in the ring that unfortunately he just could not go on. But eventually he discovered stem cells. And after that, after maybe, I don't know how long it took, he never described it, but after taking this procedure, he eventually discovered that he could go back in the ring and do what he loved, wrestling with his son this time. This procedure also has extensive benefits like slowing aging, quickening the healing process, or as noted also from Mayo Clinic, stem cells can generate healthy cells to replace cells affected by disease and cancer. So, like any other procedure you get, wouldn't you want it cheaper? Being that most stem cells are used for research and treating the few who can afford it, with a prediction that comes from an article named "What You Should Know About Stem Cells: From Promising Research to Dubious Acts," they predict that the science of stem cells could be effective someday, effective to the point someday they could be used to repair or replace tissues or maybe even organs. Now, most of the time when you are dealing with this type of issue, you can't just protest a hospital. There's no way of protesting a hospital with stem cell research or treatment, because there's still going to be people who need it. But you could still talk to a legislation or some type of representative that you know that can maybe put in a word to, I didn't research exactly where you would put it, but I imagine some type of Congress, like the Congress, and maybe they could try to talk to hospitals, because hospitals have their own price books, from what I remember researching. So, in that case, I hope you learned its effectiveness. I hope you learned that it is so very important that we try to get this to more people by making it more affordable. If it was more affordable, someday maybe even anybody could have it. We could have so many different uses for it, like stated with being able to replace organs. My dad recently had a little bit of solder go into his eye. Let's say he lost it from a possible infection that he didn't treat. Stem cells possibly could bring that back in a maybe futuristic future, distant historical event that we are yet to see. So that being said, I hope that if you feel that this touched your emotions anyway, or maybe you think that this could be a well worth effort, please go to any person of interest in the political field or a friend who might try to get into politics and just tell them your feelings and tell them we need to discuss this. Thank you.